Since the Norman Powell trade, OG Anunoby has seriously excelled with a bigger offensive role. So in this video, we're going to talk about what OG Anunoby needs to do to take his game to the next level. Let's get into it. Welcome Raptors fans to Amateur Hour Sports. This is the channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors at least 3 to 4 to 5 times a week. So if you like what you see from today's video and you want more of myself talking about the Raptors in videos just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to show your support to the channel. Also follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/amateursports, where we watch along every single Raptors game plus do other things like 2K streams. So let's get into our topic for today, where we're talking about OG Anunoby. And I think that recently OG Anunoby has really taken a bit of an upgraded role on offense for this Toronto Raptors team since the Norman Powell trade. And we know that OG Anunoby already has the defensive stuff on lock. Like, he is just already one of the best defenders, one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA. A lot of this video is going to be talking about what he needs to do on offense to take his game to the next level. So recently, OG Anunoby has been playing very well, and I attribute a lot of his current success to the Norman Powell trade. And I think that it's helped out a little bit more of Raptors players because Gary Trent can space the floor a little bit more than Norman Powell. Now, this is not faulting Norman Powell, but I think he needed to get a lot of the ball and a lot of touches on the inside to really elevate his game. That's why Norman Powell has looked so good this season, not so much in Portland, but that's down to the coaching there. But for the Raptors, Norman Powell occupied a lot of those touches on offense, where Gary Trent, sure, he'll never turn down a shot. Sure, he gets a lot of touches, but I think he's spending more time on the outside, which affords the likes of OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam a lot more space on the interior to go and get themselves to the paint. And we know how good Siakam is at that. But with OG Anunoby, OG is low-key one of the strongest players in the NBA. He's got so much strength for his size, and he's really starting to utilize that. In the last couple of games, OG Anunoby has been great. The last couple of games that he's played, that is. He played yesterday against the Brooklyn Nets, and he played also last week against the San Antonio Spurs, was inactive for the games against the Thunder and against the Magic. And against the Spurs, put up 22 points, and against the Brooklyn Nets, put up 25 points, where he was shooting very well from three and also getting down on the inside. And because of his height, you don't necessarily attribute the strength that he has to his game. Yet, in that game against the Brooklyn Nets, managed to get himself down on the interior and bully his way to the rim, whether it be smaller guys on him because of his height, whether it be smaller guys like Luwawu-Cabarrot or Bruce Brown. OG Anunoby can use his sheer size and strength to body his way to the rim and give himself an easy 2 points. So this is something that's very good about OG Anunoby's game, adding this other dimension to his game. Already shooting fantastically from three, already shooting great from the field. But what can OG Anunoby do to take his game to the next level? I think that there's already a very good three-point game and an inside game. OG just simply needs to add on a little bit more to his scoring. And I think that shooting off the dribble a little bit more will afford him that, especially in the mid-range. I think that recently he's really starting to shoot from three off the dribble a lot more, and that was very, very evident last night against the Brooklyn Nets. But getting himself into mid-range situations, I think, where OG might be able to take his game to the next level. And also, I think that is a very good comparison that also really enlightens OG Anunoby's talent, because OG Anunoby is only 23 years old. I think it's very, very wild to just consider the fact that, yes, this guy is still only 23 years old, and maybe you're watching this pretty surprised at that figure. 23 years old, and he's already producing, the most versatile defense in the NBA, and also producing some very good offense, because OG is the most versatile defender in the NBA. He can guard any of the 5 positions on the court, and we've seen him guard the center spot very well, because a few weeks ago had to guard Nikola Jokic, an MVP candidate, and did a phenomenal job guarding him on the interior. Also can go out on the perimeter and be one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA. Even on offense, still very versatile. Again, he can play as the 5. We know he can play as the 3 and the 4. And last week had to play as a shooting guard. So lots to like about OG's versatility. And a very good comparison I'm going to bring up, again, is the Kawhi Leonard comparison. And now, you might be watching this video and you might be rolling your eyes thinking about this comparison, but I'm going to really show you why this comparison makes sense because of the eerily similar statistics that both these players have in their fourth season at 23 years old, because Kawhi Leonard in his fourth season in the NBA playing with the San Antonio Spurs was 23 years old. OG Anunoby is currently in his fourth season in the NBA playing with the Raptors. He is 23 years old. And we're going to go into the stats as to why these guys should absolutely be compared. So starting with the points per game aspect. So we're going to compare Kawhi Leonard's fourth season to OG's current season, which is his fourth season, both of which 23 years old again. So points per game, Kawhi Leonard takes the edge here. 16.5 points per game in that season, whereas OG only has 15.1 points per game right now. But the shooting stats are where this comparison is very telling, because let's look at the field goal percentages, where OG averages 48% shooting from the field. Kawhi Leonard in that season also averaged 48% shooting. 3-point percentage, OG takes a bit of an advantage here. 39.5% shooting from three right now. Kawhi Leonard in that season, 35% shooting from three. Now, I will admit at this situation that OG Anunoby probably takes a lot more open threes and a lot more catch and shoot threes than Kawhi Leonard did at this point in his career. Kawhi Leonard probably took a little bit more difficult shots, and that's why maybe the 3-point percentage is down. But it's very telling that OG is 4.5% higher from three than Kawhi Leonard was in that season, which very much helps his effective field goal percentage, which also clumps in free throw percentage, where OG shoots 78% and Kawhi shot 80%. So they both pick up, that loose change at the line at about a similar clip. When you compile that all into the effective field goal percentage, OG is shooting 57%, whereas Kawhi Leonard is shooting 52%. So OG shooting stats, very telling in this comparison. And we can also look at the blocks category and the steal categories. We're looking at 0.7 blocks per game for OG, 0.8 for Kawhi. Then at steals, Kawhi takes the advantage here. 2.3 steals per game compared to OG's 1.6 steals per game. So, pretty similar. And I'm not saying OG is Kawhi Leonard at this point, but those stats are very similar. When you look at the progression in their past season, you can look at their third seasons as well. OG's third season compared to Kawhi's third season is also very eerily similar. And this is why the comparison is absolutely valid with all of these different metrics. I think that these shooting metrics and these defensive metrics are kind of the base for looking at the talent of a player statistically. Now, it's not just about stats. It's eye test, it's watching them play, it's seeing what they influence on the court. Obviously, a lot of things jumble together. But if you just want to find the surface of a player, I think these are the base statistical categories that you can look at to kind of determine what kind of quality a player had. And I think these metrics, really looking at them together, is very telling to the talent that OG Anunoby possesses and the potential OG Anunoby possesses. Kawhi in this season was coming off a Finals MVP performance against LeBron, which obviously is extraordinary. And I'm not saying OG is Kawhi at this point, but OG to take that next step. Like Kawhi took the next step after that fourth season. He signed an actual contract. OG has a $72 million extension on the way, which, by the way, is a very, very good contract. Kawhi in the next season became an all-star, averaging over 21 points per game. So what OG needs to do to take that game to the next level is, he's already got the three ball down. He's already got the inside game down. I think he needs to add that third level of scoring to his game. And that third level of scoring will be in the mid-range, pulling up in mid-range. And I don't necessarily like the mid-range shot. You guys know that. However, I think that there are certain guys on your team that you can enable to take those shots. And if OG can develop the confidence to knock those shots down, he will excel his game to the next level. And I see nothing stopping him from being an all-star. Because again, the shooting on the inside and from three is already at an all-star level. But adding those extra points on the inside, demanding more touches of the ball, will enable him to reach new heights. I think in the past, we've all been calling for an OG MIP season, but I don't think we're ever going to get that, because pretty much OG doesn't demand the ball as much as he should. He doesn't get the touches that he should, because there are a lot of guys in the Raptors who need those. You've got Lowry, Van Vliet, Siakam. Now you've got Gary Trent. You had Norman Powell. But I think that once we move into the next season where maybe there's no Kyle Lowry and it's Van Vliet, Gary Trent, OG, Siakam, and our new center as our starting five, OG's going to get a lot more touches. And when he gets more touches, we're kind of seeing it right now. We're kind of seeing it over the last couple of weeks. his confidence is growing, which means he's getting more touches and he's not being as passive with the ball. He's attacking the rim. He is pulling up for three when he has the opportunity to do so. He's pulling up with a defender in his face and still knocking down shots. These are all very promising signs for, again, the 23-year-old. And I think that 3-level scorer is something he can develop, especially at this age, and especially looking at the kind of trajectory we associate with Kawhi Leonard. I don't think OG will ever reach that Kawhi Leonard type of level, perennial all-star, perennial MVP candidate, but OG can absolutely be a DPOY candidate. And I think in the next few years, we're looking at an all-defense first-team player in OG, the most versatile defender in the NBA. The Raptors don't always get the respect for these sort of awards, but OG, I think, would absolutely deserve to get one in the next couple of years. Time will tell, but mark my words, I think OG is going to be in one of those situations because, again, 23 years old, most versatile defender in the NBA. You can make a case for the best, but also one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA. And now if you want to mix scoring with that, you want to mix OG getting up to 17, 18, 19, 20 points per game, which I think that adding these other facets to his game will help him get there. The sky is the absolute limit. That is why I say OG Anunoby is absolutely untouchable to trade for this Raptors team. You see the defense fall apart when he's not on the court. When he's there, it's a completely different team on defense. And if he can add all these extra offensive things to his game, there is no telling how far OG Anunoby can go in his NBA career. So what do you guys make of this comparison, comparing OG Anunoby to Kawhi Leonard? Do you think OG can really take this next step in his NBA career? I want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. But that wraps it up for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, please be sure to hit the like button. If you did like the video at any point, it really helps us reach some new viewers. And subscribe to Amateur Hour Sports for more content just like this. Again, a ton of Raptors videos coming, and plus we have the live streams on Twitch, twitch.tv/amateursports. We watch along every single Raptors game, plus we do other things like trivia nights, like 2K streams, so make sure you're there for that. Link is in the description. At the end of the day, I believe what I say. If you disagree, that is okay. We'll see you again next time for another video.